When it comes to how to facilitate for group sessions, there's a couple things to keep in mind. First, we want to begin in an interesting way. How do we do that? We tell a story, we ask a question, we share something funny or light. When you first get in front of a group of participants, they are checking you out and establishing in their mind whether this is going to be worth it and whether you're the person that they want to listen to for the next hour or so. And so grabbing their attention right away when all eyes are on you at the beginning is so important. So this is something that you really want to plan. Whatever the topic is, you want to make sure that you say something that immediately engages the audience. So that wouldn't be saying something like, oh, are we ready to start yet? Oh, what can we do next? It is that indecisiveness gives them a sense of who you are. You want to do something in a decisive way. Have you ever thought about who takes care of the person who takes care of everyone else? Could that person be you? Let's talk about some descriptions of that person. See, in me saying that, it grabbed your attention for a minute. It made you sit up and listen because maybe, just maybe, she's talking about me. It may be some different way to open up the session. My point is this, is that when you have all eyes on you, deliver. As you do that, it is important to let people know where you're going to take them. Nobody wants to go on a journey that doesn't have a roadmap. So you want people to know that today, for the first half hour, we're going to do an activity to get to know each other. After that, we're going to do something that takes us a little deeper, and then we'll end by 2 o'clock. People want to know what the format is, and so as we give that to them, it's one less thing for folks to worry about. Now, when you're planning for a session, I often find that people plan way too much information than can go in the amount of time that they've been given. I think it's our penchant for wanting to be over-prepared and not under-prepared. But what happens is when we make our minds up that we are going to put so much information into a session, we rush through it and we lose people. When we're facilitating in a wholehearted way, we really have to be open to the signals that people are giving us, the answers that they share, and if it's necessary, we can make a few detours. Perhaps we won't even get to half of what we have set out for the day because the conversation is so rich and there are so many learning points. So we have to be able to pick up on the audience in ways that are beyond what they just say. But it's the way they look, the way they pause when they share information. It is being able to listen with our whole hearts so that we can take people to a place that they haven't been to before. All right, when we're in the session and someone shares a thought or an idea, it is so important that we acknowledge that person. Why? Because a lot of times it takes people a lot of courage and energy to speak up and to share. And so if they share something and then we just move on to the next person without thanking them, perhaps without commenting or asking another question, it is as if we are ignoring them, and we absolutely don't want to do that. The other thing that we have to do is be also careful about those people who will tend to dominate a conversation or those who will be very quiet in the conversation. So if we are aware of that, then the person who dominates, we have to find places where we can interrupt gently and respectfully and move the conversation on. For the person who doesn't speak up, we can even say something in kindness that says, I haven't heard from Julie yet, and I can tell she has something on her mind, or I really want to hear her perspective as well. Do it in ways that we're not calling people out, but we're inviting them forward. In wholehearted facilitation, participant engagement is extremely important. And so with that, we want to make sure that we're asking questions, that there isn't any long periods of time where we're just talking and they're having to listen. We lose people and lose their engagement very quickly. So it must be seriously interactive. The last point is that when we facilitate in a wholehearted way for a group, one of the greatest ways to have people let their guard down is by also letting your guard down. No, we don't want to make the session all about us, but when we do activities, in addition to the participants completing them, we complete them as well. We do that wholeheartedly. We don't just throw off some answer, but we really think about it, think about how we're feeling in that moment and in that season, and then process it with everyone else. It shows them that they can constantly be learning and that they can follow your lead in being willing to share, process, and move forward. Finally, as you complete facilitation for a group, know that there are a million ways to get it right. So let your personality come out and allow yourself to facilitate in the way that's most effective for you. Don't try to be like me or the other person that you saw facilitate the session, but instead ask yourself, what are the unique and special things that I bring to this conversation, and how can I use things like my humor, if that's something big for me, my research, if I have a background that applies to this area, my natural curiosity when it comes to asking people questions. Use all that is within you in order to pull something out of the audience. And I guarantee you it will be something that your participants will remember and that you will also grow from as well.